We do it before. Two on one, and then on top of all three.
Okay.
And then you do you,
idea
buddy.
is wrong for
Okay.
universes.
I just did half.
Just not explored yet. Oh, I'm
All right. Are we allowed to start, or is there like an official
Man.
timer?
Boy, howdy! I have no idea. There is an official timer, but I don't know when it is. I'll go look.
All right, Shoto versus Sero.
Correct. I'm trying to see who is going
Starting
first. I
XX
believe,
10.
looking at how the mulligans
Okay,
went,
so-
I believe Shoto
You have a
is
minute.
and Shoto's
Okay.
committed, so yeah, Shoto is definitely going first there.
We love that.
I cannot look at. Yeah, I can't look at the symbols yet. I don't have. I have access to see the characters and the deck
Right.
numbers, but not the actual derived information. Womp womp. So I can't.
How
see
long
the
you been playing?
symbols they're on yet.
Not too long.
However, for
Probably
the
a
most
couple
part,
months.
I think Todoroki's been mostly either on water.
Hell yeah.
All right.
We love to hear it.
It just
I
gives
don't- Good luck with
so
it,
many
man.
defensive options
Good luck.
to it.
All right. I
Exactly.
guess we'll
Speeds
start.
you up ever so slightly.
Play into the
But you lose
Typhoon
out
for
on
3.
a couple good attacks. You lose out on a couple good
We'll see
defensive
aspirations for
options.
3.
Although
Checked with Frigid.
speed is one area
We'll
where Shoto
do
typically wins,
infinite
having to build
potential
up
on
to
3.
all those cards in
Checks.
the
We'll do
discard
release
there.
on 3.
It looks like he's
Yeah, but
getting
we're
quite a
seeing-
few ranged.
And then I'll
Was that a
pass.
float combo I saw?
Sounds good.
No,
I'm gonna review
I
reverse throw,
see-
and I'll draw
see a
2 bonus
float
cards.
Combo, but I do see wealthy aspirations.
Playing
infinite
as
potential, and
Todoroki
release,
under the
so we're gonna
chaos
see
symbol, a thing you don't see very often.
The check.
I'm gonna play passing torch on a 2.
Top check.
It'll check.
I think is a float
I'm
combo.
going to play natural leader on a 2/3. Checks at 2. I'll commit Sero to make it a 3rd. Now that we got that out of the way, we'll play self-sacrifice on a 3 and check another 2. Oh, okay, cool. On a 3, it'll
Yeah,
check.
I mean, it's not the worst
on a
thing for
4,
Sero to be
it'll check.
committed
On a
defense
5,
on the first
it will
turn.
fail. Build my 5 as we
Okay, there's
pass.
definitely
Oh, you buddy.
There
All
are
card in hand?
definitely more
Yes, sir.
disadvantageous
Alright,
positions for
untap,
Sero to be in there.
Yeah,
But still
review,
being able to
need
build out
those-
that many.
Yeah, you need
discard,
to build that many, right? Because it just opens up the world of options.
Dark Frozen. Draw 5.
Because
3,
he's not attacking, so
4,
really defensively,
5, 6,
he's got nothing.
7.
He's not going to use his once per game already. So no problem committing the character.
Yep, I was gonna say we
Start
definitely know
off with,
Shoto is now
Frigid
gonna be
hit
on
Heat Wave for
chaos
5.
with all the
Good
Ochako
one.
stuff,
Checks.
and Sero is gonna be on
First
order this time
enhance. I
around.
don't think you have any responses,
So
right?
Sero's
I do
gonna
not,
really
no.
looking to
Okay. First enhance,
stop
I
a
will
lot
discard the
of
top 3.
Sure.
Real
1,
good chaos
2,
foundations that
3. Gets plus 4
Ochako
damage.
and
That
even a couple
seems
of
pretty
the
good. I'll enhance on passing the
value
torch, and I'll draw a bonus
ones,
card.
so,
Okay.
There's a passing going on.
passing the torch, yep.
I don't think I have. No, there's no way I have 6 by now, do I? 1, 2.
Looks like
3,
first tech
4.
out is
4.
Frigid Heat.
That would be impressive on turn 2. You did hit 2 off the top, so like,
Yeah.
big maybe.
I mean, regardless of what you are, other people play.
I'll pass on enhance.
I'll also pass.
Shoto's attacks.
We'll block with
5.
sticky balls.
Yeah,
And this
On a
one
5,
is
6, 7.
killer.
Checks a
So I
3,
mean, draw
4,
2
5,
cards
6,
off
7.
the
I'm
top,
into
it's
it.
a 5/4.
Yeah. We'll tap
Okay.
out. I'll draw. I'll
do
take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to 24.
Is insane.
Okay.
1 and
And just getting some more cards in the discard pile for Shoto's
I will
effects.
also
Yeah.
play
Can't
another
go wrong
Frigid
with
Heat
that.
Wave. 3.
Shoto's
4.
definitely going to want to stay in
5,
this mid-range
6.
area where
No
he's
damage.
going to snowball. And then
First
the
enhance,
more
mill
cards are in the
3.
discard pile,
1.
absolutely
2,
the scarier this
3.
game goes.
Oh, got 6.
Until you hit that nice
so plus 2.
equilibrium point where you got to
Sounds good.
reshuffle your discard
I will
back
pass.
in and start at square one all over
Oh man,
again.
I tell you, the
Confirm.
first one
I
I
do
built
have
was
it
55
1
cards, and
range
then after
attack.
2 games, I
1,
bumped
2,
it up
3,
to
4.
65 because that is a real
6.
problem.
No, 6 range attacks.
In those
I would
decks.
draw 2.
You're weak,
Sounds good.
you're strong, but then if they can push past that one
I'll pass.
turn, you get weak again. So it's a real close matchup.
Ship
playing
it.
against
5
a,
high for 6.
I'll choose not to block. I'll
Shoto
take my
like that
6.
to
1, 2, 3, 4,
get
5,
them
6.
past that hump where they don't have that huge damage boost because it's very hard
I will
to pay damage
play,
across on multiple attacks per turn.
Self-assured on a 4.
It's like you're adding 1 to the cost of
Pass.
everything to boost the damage. And it's
Yep,
I will
and
play
looks like
Liline's
a
Defeated
second
on
one
a
just getting
5.
dropped down right now as
Pass.
well, and then
And
just finishing out with some builds the rest of the turn.
I'll pass. So clear,
for the future, but
clear.
get
Both the
those
inspiration
chips in
trigger,
early,
or
gotta
both the
build-
aspiration
gotta
trigger
put
on
a little
response.
bit of damage in.
Yeah.
Build
which you
build another
need to
momentum
do
from the top of my
early because you
deck.
have such low
I love
life,
that.
and the Sero can just destroy you if you hold one less block than you really should, and then
And then Wealthy Aspiration actually flips over
Yes.
in order to play that ability.
So
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
very
will
interesting to see
choose not
what
to review.
once
I'll
per
draw.
game is gonna come
1,
in.
2,
the way that I
3,
personally
4.
play on that, I always try to use that once per
5.
game on my
Okay.
attacking turn.
This is
So, if
fine.
I have
This
that
is
right,
fine.
if
This
you
is
fully
everything we
block this,
wanted.
your hand's gonna
Let's
get resolved.
play Think Fast on a
I
2.
don't know. Using at the
It
end of a block
checks.
chain.
Let's
insanely strong as
play.
well. Take out their last card, so it's not an attack, and then attacking them.
Bonds of
right
Friendship
back
on a
when they
2.
haven't had a
It
chance to draw
checks.
any
Desperate
cards.
Times on a 2. It checks, and we'll
Actually, I
pass.
Quite make out what's being played, but it looks like just another setup turn for Tam.
Looks like it was just foundations for
That's
Tam.
Yeah, and not really getting any attacks he needs to charge in here, which you think he's got to have a throw or two in there, being Sero, right, to try and get past a little chip in these defenses, because 20 health is hard to take down on these this tough Shoto defense, and with the free cancel on something, your best offensive enhance is just gone.
Sure, but at the same time, we know 100% that Shoto is going to be a mid-game player. So taking the time now to build up your defensive line, getting your foundations down, kind of cultivating your hand for another big attack stream coming out, like it's not at all a bad play.
No.
And it also depends on what was pulled in his hand. You know, if there's only one attack in hand, it's definitely just better to build out what you can and stay defensive.
All right, here we go. Nice lead attack.
It looks to be flow combo, correct?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
No possibility of the combo here, but at least a guaranteed 1 damage into all these foundations,
Mm-hmm.
and probably at least 4 others. It's an interesting card because while it has low natural damage, it can switch into low speed but high damage. But Shoto brings his own damage, so now it's just a high speed attack with I can add my own damage to it, and it'll always go to momentum, which is great if he's playing some of those. Well, he can't be playing tape swing with what he's on, but
No, you gotta be in water
presumably
for that.
he's got one of his own powerful attacks or something that he can use all this momentum he's building up for.
I mean, even on there, if he's building up that momentum, he could also just be running a home run comet at the back end, and it just
You still have to find a way to make it hit, though, and against Sero, that's not always the easiest thing in the world.
it's very true, very true. Looking to be here, full block, taking the 1 damage, but committing out a little bit of that foundation back wall, so chucking down at those defenses that Tam's been able to set up.
Unfortunately, with the number of attacks he has, he may have 1 or 2 more attacks, so maybe he can squeeze 1 in, but it does look like Sero's all set to block another attack. But nope, he's just going to build up, slowly building those momentum and that chip damage. Both of these, Sero and Shoto, taking it to the mid game.
And this is gonna be the spot where everything's gonna start getting real hot and fiery for him. Shoto pun intended.
Don't blink, because one of these turns is going to be just an explosion and it's going to end. The question is whose it is. So what do we got? That was in the Typhoon over there too. So basically with the big hand size, it's a free full block. I mean, you'll have to remove his foundation, but it looks like 2 in the Typhoon. So it'll
Yep.
be real hard to assassinate Anson there. Excuse me. Assuming he has cards in hand, which he does, which is probably why
he's 3 cards in hand at the moment. Yep.
Right. He's having a lot of success just throwing in attack, getting a little damage. Now here comes in a little bit of throw action over on the other side. So those things the 7-handers hate. And we're going to start to see some retaliation from Tam.
We're going to be tape swing, if I can see that correctly on there, right?
Let's see. Yeah, tape swing itself, it looks like from the art. 2 checks rough, but awesome to play. And this one will at least get some damage in. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of momentum to spend on this, but he can at least change the zone once. So it minimum gets to a 4/8, right? And it can't be fully blocked.
Correct, yeah. So at least some of the damage is going to get through. A little bit of momentum generation. I mean, you can't waste in the Typhoon on this one because it will create a false board state, and into the Typhoon, you'll pay its cost, and nothing will happen because it cannot be completely blocked. So
And it'll actually prevent you from using any other blocks, making it unblockable.
Correct. Yeah. So this card is very much the counter to In the Typhoon.
hmm Yeah, sometimes you just have to take it, other times block for half, and it looks like there's a consideration of what's going to go on here. But it's always going to be a decent chunk of your opponent's life, and you just have to. This is why you have to play attacks, and you can't stall out the game. Things like tape swing, things like throws will chip you down, and at 20 health, you can't afford that too many turns in a row. Looks like he boosted the speed by 1 from something.
Yeah, speed did get boosted, I believe, from
Oh,
I'm not sure.
he's probably got the foundation where if it's zone change +1/+1 because he had.
Yeah, no, not gotcha. Man, I forget what the name of that one is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find it too, and my Ultra UVS is not being friendly to me. I legitimately think Ultra UVS might be down.
Oh, mine's up and running. Let me see if I can't pull that up for you. But yeah, if your zone has changed,
Think
then
fast.
yeah, think fast. So right now, sitting at a lot of damage on this attack, and this is what we mean with you have to make moves. I mean, in this game, he's got +7 damage on this, right? So it's minimum doing 6 or 7. What's the? I can't quite tell.
I believe it to be 7 damage at the moment. Yes.
It starts at 6, so that's 7 damage. So
Yep.
that's a third of your life
And
on a
that's
random attack.
a
If
lot being put down for the block, but being able to get Breaker 2 off of that ice wall.
Well, yeah, you can't take 13 on that. That puts you in 1 tape throw from death. You have to block that, no matter what.
Yep, there we go. A lot of life lost right there. 7 life just going on down.
Yep. Now, one of the beautiful things about Shoto's foundations is we mentioned he likes to knock at one. He's got a low life. He can't get one turned, or he has to set himself up to knock at one turned. Obviously, he has those foundations that help him block, but a lot of his attacks actually have breaker on them that just make it hard for the opponent to do one long attack string that just takes them from full to 0. And
Correct. Yeah, and I think that's how you're gonna have to leverage your deck, especially against a deck where Into the Typhoon just not gonna be as effective against other decks for you. I think this is gonna be block as much as you can with breakers over using your tricks.
Mhm.
More honest style gameplay. Looks to be Jolt, I believe.
That breaker too really taking him pretty low in foundations despite a decent check. You can see that he's down to just 3 foundations left. Might be able to squeeze off another attack. But yeah, Jolt looking to come out here. Really good in tape swing decks or decks that really want momentum because hey, it always goes there. That's we saw float combo on the other side.
Yep.
We'll see Jolt on this side, and guaranteed damage always good.
And with Sero, any bit of momentum gain is going to be fantastic because there's a lot of ways for Sero to spend momentum.
Exactly. Also, Sarah's got a nice advantage. He doesn't have to worry that much about plus ultra, which has really been coming into its own recently, just as a fantastic block, and also can if you have any sort of pre-enhance boost to your attacks, it can really make them insane. But mid attacks, especially that are high speed, just get shut down by him, and so normal mid attacks are kind of collateral damage. People play it versus the high speed mids, but it blocks any mid really well.
Pretty well.
But Sero gets around that. He just says, "I have no mid attacks," right?
Yep.
I think you're playing that. I have no mids. Yeah, although
Or again, you just
Yeah.
force your tape swing to be a mid, can't be completely blocked, and now that card is just dead in your hand.
Right. Most of the best breaker cards are mid, so hey, change it off of the mid, and then you've got really good blocks going on, or really good attacks coming through that if they want to break you, they can't fully block.
And it looks like we're just passing the turn on over there. That breaker real coming into play. Shoto's having a bit of momentum now, though, so we're gonna see. I believe Shoto has 2 momentum, and Tam, I believe, has 1 momentum. And now, like we were saying, we're now into the dangerous turn where that Shoto's deck is very thin, mostly in the discard pile, and this is where.
Well, and Tam only has 3 foundations up, and Anson has, and I can't see exactly what's on those dice, but a lot of damage coming out from just committing foundations. Unfortunately, not all the foundation. He's got a decent
I
number.
believe he has 8 on those dice right now.
Yeah.
No, my apologies, 10. He just updated onto 10.
So I mean, he's adding, if that's 10 cards, he's adding at least 5 damage to every attack every time he commits a foundation.
Seems good. Seems killable on point.
It seems good. Now the problem is, how many attacks did you draw, and can Tam manage that full block he needs to take your best attack out of your hand?
Correct, yeah.
Because if he can, it's entirely possible to just swing back and kill. So you can't extend too far. Yeah, it looks like we're 13-7 right now.
Yep, 13-7 still. Just a meteor shower coming down. Sorry, we got our last commentator who popped back in finally. But yeah, so we have meteor shower. So even with Shoto here, since you play a lot more Shoto than I do, how do you feel about Shoto loops with meteor shower?
I am not on Meteor Shower in it, but quite honestly, Meteor Shower is so expensive I can't play it in that many decks. I gotta pick and choose, and I think 01 is where I normally play it. But if I'd tear it out if I was playing in a deck. I mean, it does. So this is an option to get around not drawing enough attacks, right? Meteor Shower is number 1 and most annoying attacks in the game, and
Especially at plus
probably
5 damage.
probably in the top 3 in strongest attacks, just because it extends turns so longer. It chains with itself. There's nothing else you need but meteor showers. Yes, it's nice to have things that add to momentum, but it's unfortunate he didn't have one in the momentum before now. But if he's got one in the discard, he's looking through some cards right now. I don't know what's. This might be his hand. Oh, is he revealing for the Sero?
I believe he's revealing for the Sero, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Meteor Shower changed with itself to just make more attacks, and that's what Shoto kind of wants. He either wants unblockable attacks we can add his damage to, or just, I'm gonna make so many attacks that you can't block them all, and they've all got extra damage. And
Yep.
that's Meteor Shower's plan, is that second one, right? I'm gonna do 5 attacks this turn. It's a 4 cost, so it's nothing. It'll chain late in the turn, and you make it a 4 speed high for 10 damage. That adds up.
Only 10 damage though. Only 10 damage. Yeah, that's survivable.
Right.
Not good, but
yeah,
then when the next attack is coming in, also probably a 10 damage. So it
looks like
real scary.
I can't tell. Is this a float combo coming in next?
I can tell you in a second. I believe it is. If I get a little bit of delay, I can watch it on the actual YouTube, and it's a little bit clearer because the
Mhm.
YouTube feed is 1080p, whereas the one I'm looking at right now is not. But it's behind by like 30 seconds.
It does look like float combo, so I'm
It
gonna
does
say
look like
yes
flow
as well.
combo, yes. Yep.
Relatively high speed, gonna be really tough to block here. Now, the upside is low damage. You're thinking a maximum 9 out of this. I don't know what foundation add-ons he has. I can't see that right now. But you're not gonna kill with this one alone. Unless he actually was running plus ultra, then that would be exactly enough to kill. But very blockable, with just a little bit of help. It's only 6 speeds, so with a 1+, you can get to 7, and a 5 and 2 foundations to it. Looks like he's throwing down something to block with.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of have to block here. There's no. We're in that mid stage of the game. Nope.
Nothing's left, taking partial damage. It looks like.
Yep. It is a half damage block there. But yeah, again, as we were saying, this mid game part is going to be what's absolutely crucial here.
Was that a foundation? Did he run out?
I believe he ran out. Yep, I believe that there was an
Right.
attack that was sniped out from the Tam pole, Sero pole, and then yeah, we're just at foundation time.
Yeah. So basically we know Anson's gonna basically kill next turn. He's got his opponent at 12. He's out of his response. He's got a billion foundations. He just has to survive this turn and get decent attacks. So
Correct. But on the
Tam,
opposite hand here, Tam knows exactly what's in that hand. He got to
yeah,
go ahead and take a peek, got to throw away the thing that he was most, not wanting to deal with, and
and he knows
now
the
has
zones
perfect
too.
information.
He knows exactly what zones are available to block at what high, low, mid,
Hmm.
and
And at what speeds.
and at what speeds, and he can just say, "What's your worst zone? I'm slamming it,"
Yep. And it looks to be a reverse throw being dropped down immediately.
which really doesn't care what zone.
And also gets to pull an extra card in theory. So
In theory.
it is block this for half, which feels bad, or I get to add more fuel in my hand.
I
So
mean, it's just such a great lead off, right? It's like, yeah, you're probably gonna have to commit some foundations if you or use a good block, or you're just wasting resources to block 2 damage and a card. But it's something you often have to do if you're on low life. And denying that card can be very powerful if they're not high enough in attacks to actually finish the job.
correct.
Lots of thinking going on. It's a tense moment, right? Anson
I-
knows that Tam knows everything, so he's got to think,
Mhm.
what's his plan? Does he is he baiting me to block this, or is blocking this actually good for me? He's got a decent number of foundations, but it looks like he's just going to let it through.
Yep. Looks
But the
like you're just
cards
gonna
are
let that
hot.
one through and get a pull.
The mind games that go on with these information cards. It's like Jiro, right? Like put two. Should I check this one? Should I pull this one in my hand? What's going on? Right. Another attack coming down. Looks like he's got plenty to start throwing out and try and
Looks to be
finish
a
it.
second reverse throw as well. So
Mhm.
again, just gonna keep putting more fuel into that hand. Like just saying, hey, all right, you didn't block the first one. Do you want to block the second one?
Yeah. And I mean, if this goes through, any other throw ends it. A
Correct.
tape swing in his hand is the end of the game if this fully goes through. Even if it doesn't actually, this is 3 damage minimum. So then a tape swing that comes in, and you can with his momentum, he could change his zone twice with his ability as well. If
Yep.
he has a tape swing in hand, this is already gone.
And enough foundations to make the check. So it's definitely
I
very much
mean,
so
1, 2,
looking
3,
bad on
4,
Anson's
5,
side.
6, 7. He's got 7 ready foundations. He can make the check with a 0.
Yeah.
So if he takes a -1 and 2 a double front beatdown, he can still make it. So looks like some damage getting added to this one, anyways. With the zone change.
Looking to be 7. So yeah, at least 4 damage is gonna get through on this. And that's 100%. That yeah, this is death. Depending on what is in Tam's hand. If there's
The third reverse though is also death at this
yeah,
point. Yeah.
I am pretty sure this is gonna be a bad time. Gonna be a bad time.
It is looking that way. There will be a sigh of relief if a foundation comes down next, but I doubt that's the case.
There's the plus ultra block.
Yep.
Let's see, and the check's a 3 off of that. So it's
His life went back up to 7. Was there a? Did I miss? Was there a flipped wall cling or something in there?
no, I think his life was at 7. His life was at
Right,
7 the entire time too. Yeah.
but that was a reverse though, so it should have done damage.
Oh, okay. No, it looks like they just hit the wrong direction. They hit up on the damage tracker instead of down.
Right, but what
Or
I'm
they had
saying,
or they had a miscalculation beforehand, and
okay.
I more than likely probably miscalculation on the attacks. So
It looks
looks
like
like they're at
it
7
looks
now.
like Reverso was actually removed from the. I have no idea what's going on there.
Yes, looks like reverse throw was removed from the game. It's on. But that's fine though. Grasping tape toss with a plus ultra coming down seems good.
Yep, that's it, right?
Yep, and that is 100% a pretty much dead Shoto Todoroki on the
I mean,
backside.
that just shows you, right? If you don't have a plan for Plus Ultra, man, it's great. It was needed to solve a lot of the ultra high speed unblockable shenanigans in some deck, but you need to have a plan to deal with it because these throws that start out at 6 damage and go to 12 damage
Yep.
are, you're minimum taking 6, and when you're a 20 life character, that's 3 times you're dead. Basically, and it increases itself. So you need to have a plan to deal with that. You need to have either some wall clings in there, some life gain, or just the speed to not allow that, because it does take momentum to do it. They have to build up a board state because it has to be checked in addition to everything. So have a
Looks like
plan.
some side decking is gonna go on from both character sides here. So
Of course,
now, do you think there's a character change?
I would not see. I don't know if Sero character changes here. I think he's fine with this matchup. Throws are good versus the 7. I would not be surprised to see Shoto changed. I don't think there's one big enhance that his cancel hits that's really good for him. I think he's awesome in the mid game, but that's also Tam can snipe him out that turn he needs to. If anything's changing, I think it's Shoto, but I don't know Anson's deck that well to predict if it's going to swap out. I'm going to go 65% Shoto changes, but we'll see how that turns out. How about yourself?
I don't know what Shoto wants to change into. Like, I definitely think that if there is a character, a change definitely happens. But I'm not sure what that deck really wants to
Let's see.
change.
It was definitely chaos, right?
It was on 100% it's on chaos. It's definitely not gonna be.
I mean, there's a lot of good options. There was float combo in the deck,
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, you could change it out to Ochako 1, and I
or
think that's the
Ochako 2.
only.
Both of them have chaos.
Yeah, but
Both of them are
Ochako 2 is
really
not
good.
bringing anything really.
Yeah. So the meteor shower and float combo make me think maybe Ochako 1's in there, but Ochako 2 loves float combo and can play meteor shower as well.
True.
So there's not
But it
really
being a 5 hand size against Sero, like, I think that's spooky.
that is true, but like float combo returning itself to a hand, you're really a 6 hand size.
Fair enough.
you know, because it auto hits and she can pick it up, and they can only do that once per turn, and you've got enough health to survive something like that.
Alright, looks like
Um,
they're almost done with their sideboards on their
yeah, it looks
side,
like
so
I'm
we'll get
not
the
seeing the
shuffles in.
character change. They're shuffling away, so yeah, I think like we thought, we maybe Ochako, but yeah, I don't think there's anything coming out here.
Nope. They both did change out some cards though, so we are gonna have a different matchup at some capacity.
Yeah,
And of
I
course,
don't. Yeah,
Sarah's gonna be going second, Shoto going first here. There's no real reason for that Shoto deck to want to go second.
I'm
So.
sure Tam saw a bunch of high attacks. He might have switched in a couple extra high blocks. I don't know specifically if he's got any extra attacks in there, or the that he wants to get, or the plus ultra, or just momentum generation to finish it quicker. Anson's got to have a plan to deal with a throw deck, because you have to as Shoto. So we'll see what package he has to help out with that. Maybe it's just speeding up. Maybe it's not giving the throw deck time, but instead of waiting so long, do a
It's
couple lower cost attacks and try and get some stuff in early.
Oh yeah, definitely an option here, and I think that's probably going to be the correct answer. There is to speed the deck up, because again, Shoto does love that mid game, but Sero also is real good in that mid game. Like, Sero is really good at finding that one tipping point in the scale and going, "This is now it's my time. I'm in." So
And just I mean, it's what Sero does. He responds to he morphs himself around your opponent's deck. Oh, you have a lot of high blocks. I'm doing a lot of low attacks. Oh, the vice versa. I'm gonna do this. Oh, you're doing this. That's great. I'm on throws. Oh, your best attack is on this. I'm gonna stop you on your attack turn. Oh, you're really defensive. I'm gonna use my power on your defensive turn. Just so many options. Looking like a good string of foundations. 4 coming out for Anson on the start. Not a bad first starting turn. You love to see those 5 turns, but they can't always happen. Going second, Sero. You'd expect to see at least 4 as well, but may not have gotten that lucky. We'll see. And then there's the 5, and he gets all 5. Still with 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, did he not draw an extra 1 on his turn, or is that
I
2?
believe he
It might
forgot
be
the
a pile.
extra draw.
It might be a pile of 2. But yeah, new rules. Don't forget, if you go in second, you can draw an extra card on your first turn. It might be a pile of 2 in the center. I don't know for sure. It doesn't always matter if you're not going to get attacked multiple times, but looks like there is one just flying right out of the gate here. Yep, it was 2 cards,
Yep.
so he did
Okay.
draw his correct card. He had his block ready and waiting. So taking a quick point of damage, but Shoto's starting to build up that momentum already. And I think that's what we're seeing. He wanted to go a little quicker. He's going to start off with as much poke as possible
Yep.
without giving up any life. See, that's the problem right now is he can't commit to another attack because he can't take attacks early on. So he now, because he had to commit to, he's just full on block mode until
Yep.
next turn. Till he gets that turn of good checks and he can just keep going.
That being said, though, just because of the camera angles here, we can definitely see what's going on in Anson's hand right now, and it looks like keeping the attacks in hand for block because they seem to be the good blockers. Looks to be a nice wall there, and for the most part, really just like you said, build out, defend, try and stem the tide, and get back in the next time. Now, and while we were saying with the Shoto deck speeding up, do you think that the changes for the side deck that Tam made sped his deck up a bit? I'm seeing a creepy realization down there that I didn't see last game.
I'm
Just
gonna
give it a little bit more power.
doubt it. He knows that Shoto goes to the mid game that's only so fast he can speed up. Creepy just adds a little bit of damage to that. That third throw gets 3 extra damage. It's gonna really power up his throws and his kill turn, I think, is what he's gonna rely on here. So
Mhm.
I don't know if that's in his deck normally or not, but yeah, I mean, creepy and another thing's great for like a turn of multiple throws. And that's what killed him last time, and that's something Shoto hates because he doesn't have a great way to deal um with it besides, uh just a wall cling is the
Yeah.
only thing he can run. And
Um,
is that even in chaos? I don't think
Walkling
it's in
is
chaos.
not.
No,
No.
he'd have to be on water for that. So
Yep.
yeah, I think he has no
He
answer to it right now.
could run. He could run unfeedable. He could run unfeedable force of nature, but that's not going to do. That's just slowing his own deck down. That's definitely
Yeah.
one of Shoto's most defensive cards. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, looking like grasping tape toss, I believe. Looks like grasping tape toss, yes.
Looks like it. Get some
And
good
then
stun in. Again, he's really looking for throw and slowly stun you down,
yep.
do some damage, and then if I see a spot where you're tapped out, full damage attack. But throws those throws for days.
And it looks like a little bit more building, getting that defensive wall up just to make sure if that mid game comes around, can survive and calling it a turn there.
Yep. I mean, it's a smart play, and that's one of the reasons you run creepy is if you're doing a game plan like this, where you want to have both players have 7+ foundations. You're going to have turns of 3+ attacks, and that creepy gets up to -3 or +3 or whatever you need it to be.
And as long as creepy makes the number odd, you're going to be getting the extra bonus damage off that.
Well,
Off the
not
throw.
even for throws. I'm just saying you do it on your opponent's turn, but it's really useless if you're doing 1 or 2 turn attacks versus a person with 4 foundations.
Yeah.
It looks like Sero has set himself up to a lot of foundations. Anson's got quite a few this turn, but again, in Shoto, it's deceptively few if you want to boost the attack numbers, and he doesn't have a lot of boost to the attack.
Correct.
But, I mean, when you think about it, your first 2 attacks, you're committing to 0 to 1 for each, maybe 2. So to add 1, you're doubling or 1.5 times the amount of foundations you're committing if you want to add damage. And it's just so expensive to get off multiple boosted attacks.
Yep. And then right back in, going back to that Ochako well, dropping down. Just attack after attack after attack for the first attack there, but not really following through on anything. I don't know if it's just the kind of dead drawing in hand or what's going on, but
I'm
it seems to be every turn is just one big strong attack and then okay, nothing too crazy.
very interesting what he's getting out of the full Ochako package in Shoto that he couldn't get out of Ochako, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he could pull the same attacks because it's the same symbol into those other decks. So it's really something about either the cancel or the plus damage. And the plus damage is really nice on some high speed attacks and
Agreed.
some repeatable attacks. It might honestly be the cancel as a counter for like a meta of just really strong single attacks that you can say that enhance no.
For sure. Yeah, and I don't remember the cancel being used too often in game 1, but I don't think we've seen it much in game 2 either. And I don't know
Well,
if he's
Sero's not one of those guys who play. Sero's got his best attack tape swing isn't IEX with 4 cards right at
Mhm.
once, right? He gets perfectly around that by doing one at a time with his tape swing.
Correct, yeah.
So you cancel 1, great, I lost 2 damage, but I'm gonna do it again.
Do it again. Yep.
Instead of, oh, I lost, 3 momentum and 6 speed.
Yep. Looking like I was gonna say the flipping first day of class there, just to try and keep on the pressure for this turn. Yeah, pillar swing coming out. I mean, it's gonna get through. Yeah, Tam just is gonna let the damage pass on through. Nothing else too crazy there. Looks like meteor coming down right after.
I think you might be a little bit ahead of me then. I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I'm watching. I'm on the Discord, watching the Discord stream,
Same.
so I get to have a little bit. Oh, and you might just be a little behind me after this game. You might want to refresh the Discord.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, another meteor coming down, and again looks to be. I don't want to say meteor setup because I haven't been able to see this deck really loop itself very much, but at least have meteor as an option for your looping. Really strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, hey, an extra attack any given turn is strong. That's why we saw Kirishima coordinated effort, hardened jab. Any combination of those 3.
Oh, we don't say the K word here.
Yeah.
There's no
even,
boogeyman anymore.
even anything that could put face down and a hardened jab to just pick up an extra attack, a guaranteed extra attack in a turn is so strong. One attack
Very
is
true,
the
very
difference
true.
between a kill turn and not a kill turn. It looks like this might be the actual once per game.
I believe so, yes.
So
And yep, there's the once per game. It has been used, so
taking
Tam
out a
either
foundation.
feeling confident next turn is going to be a kill turn, or just wanted to. Looks like Tam only has 1 card left in hand too, so it could be just to stop the onslaught.
Yeah, although he did throw out a foundation, right?
Yes, looks like he did. I'm double checking on that to be 100% sure. There's a second meteor
So
that was there.
So that might just be the only attack he had in a specific zone, and Tam's
Yep.
gonna go, well, I'm guaranteed to, never be full block next turn.
Yeah, it looks like it was oh, it was one of Tokiyami's there.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm taking a look right now for it just to be sure.
I need about 3 more monitors so I can have
It was clever distraction. Clever
yeah.
distraction. What got tossed? So 3-speed mid block. Yeah,
Mid-
looking like there's a lot of time to go in mid then. I'm thinking that Tam's got a lot of stuff going mid and just gonna be like, all right, well, half block
Yeah.
for days.
Tam's not even concerned about momentum. Everything going in the discard right now to just boost those or Anson, excuse me,
Anson, yeah.
is just worried about boosting up that discard. If you don't have a momentum outlet, Shoto wants stuff in the discard.
Yup. And then we see another jolt coming out.
Yeah.
Just quick, easy 1 damage, nothing too crazy. Stun 1, always good. And just popping it back into your momentum. So at one point you can, stun 1 again, pretty much.
I wish you could tell. They need to come out with a nice high, mid, low counter that you could just show it on so that when people change zones, it's easy to tell which one it's at. Because, man, it's tough following these Sero games without sound to go.
Yeah.
Is it high? Is it mid? Is it low? What's it at?
I definitely have stuff that I use as tokens for it, but there's
Same.
not anything,
There's not a good one. So, Jasco, if you're listening, man, that's a good promo price.
Yes, please, acrylic counters. Bring him back. Yep, and just the damage fully going through there. Just not
Yeah, I
even.
think was his plan last turn. That's why he took out a 3 mid. I'm guessing there's no more mids in there, so he's just gonna take everything that's low damage and then try and half block a high one. The other good thing about taking out mids is if your opponent has no mids, tape swing becomes completely unblockable because
Correct.
you high or low and they have no mids and there's no half on the other side. So
Yep. Another reverse throw coming down again. Just please block this or give me more fuel. Very, very good card.
I mean, you've got to block this because you assume if tape swing's coming, it's completely unblockable. So you need to get all the damage you can out of here. Yeah. There's not going to be a better card to block coming out.
I agree. Yeah, I'm definitely on that one. Yeah, the only other one I can think of might be grasping tape toss if it comes out next.
Yeah, but it's another throw. It's similar damage.
Yeah.
And I'd rather him not draw a card than anything else that grasping grasping taped off. If it's not blocked, it commits an extra foundation. Whatever.
Yeah. Compared to adding more fuel to the hand.
Right.
I think
So
this
he
just
did
goes
get
to
the
show
full
you.
draw out of this, and we're looking to see if the final Oh no, it's setup strike.
Setup strike.
Ooh, I mean that's a way to get your throws to full hit, but
yeah, that's for sure. A little late with the progressive though. Definitely don't disagree. The setup strike here is gonna do a lot of fun stuff, but you're adding +3 progressive difficulty to whatever the next thing out is, and you're running 2 checks. You're kind of scary. Not gonna lie.
I mean the bright thing is even a 5 check only goes up to an 8.
Mhm.
So with a 2 check, you still have the 6 foundations left.
Correct. You're
Looks like
basically signaling though that this is the turn where you're going to go in for the kill.
Mm-hmm. If you play one more attack after this might be at the end because he just didn't care about it, and you saw he had a lot of foundations and he wanted to make one more attack.
Yeah.
It's not an especially good block.
there's
It's a
the
2
block.
mid.
Checking a 3 on the block though.
I think he knows he's not blocking whatever comes next.
Yep. And
He's out
then
of zone. Sarah knows exactly what's in his hand.
yep, and a full block will allow Sero to draw some extra cards. And oh no, sorry, half block. It was a half block.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah, because again, remember, Sero depleted his zone, so he can guarantee the best you can do is half block. So any blocks against him this turn are super dangerous because there it comes. That's
there we are.
gotta be game, right? He just checks what he needs to do. Hey, throw a little momentum at it and make it a.
And there's a plus ultra.
Oh, that's the nail in the coffin right there.
For sure. Looks like a plus ultra on the speed, I believe.
No, that's got to be damage. No, I can't. I can't imagine that's on speed. He knows it's unblockable. Why would he put it on speed?
You're correct. Yep, it is on the damage.
Yeah.
And there it is. That's game. Tam taking it 2-0.
I mean, this is why you've been seeing some Sero decks